If you're a Cleveland Browns fan looking for a break from the emotional roller coaster that is the price we pay from loving then hating our Browns, then a big welcome to Cleveland Browns Anonymous, a group therapy podcast to help you survive the season. So let's start our meeting.
All right, what's up, guys? It's Brook. I'm here with Mac, talking about the draft. And drafts when, April?
Yeah.
If it's like third week of April? It's coming up.
Yeah,
Which is
April 23rd to April 25th.
And it's in Pittsburgh. That'll be cool. I like how they're like changing cities.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Green Bay was cool. I thought when they had it in Cleveland, it was cool. But I remember that first day, it was like thunderstorm, like super, not great. But then I remember the next couple of days that it really, it was just a nice weekend. But I like how they move around.
Yeah. They're picking like smaller markets too, instead of like New York every year where they don't really give a crap.
I'll tend to rewatch Draft Day once a year. So maybe I'll watch that on the plane tomorrow. But yeah, so I thought it'd be cool to just talk about mock drafts. And this is always the time of year where it feels like at least once a day, like one of the big, the big websites, big reporters always release a mock draft. I think the one thing that I've definitely at least come to expect when it comes to Andrew Berry is, and this is my gut feeling, they're going to trade one of our first round picks. I'd be really surprised if they stay where they're at. Now, whether they trade the number 6 pick or they trade, I think, what are we, 24?
Mm-hmm.
So 6 and 24. I do really like what they did in free agency. I thought really having a plan with the offensive line was so important. And I think given who was available via free agency, who was available via trade, I think Andrew Berry did a good job. I think at least like you can go into the draft feeling better than how you did before free agency, knowing that, hey, at least we have what looks to be on paper, a good offensive line, or at least like not terrible. But why don't you read me off a couple of mock drafts? I mean, I think it's very safe to say that Mendoza's going 1.
Mm-hmm.
I would be shocked if that gets traded. So you can pretty much write his name in for the Raiders. But we didn't even talk about, since our last draft, what happened with Max Crosby.
Yeah, the backing out of the deal.
Holy shit.
A lot of people are saying that the Ravens kind of did the Raiders dirty. I feel like it's really hard to know because obviously we're not there. And I know Crosby had, I believe, a knee surgery to end the year. And, maybe, giving up the 2 first-round picks, they actually taken a look at his knee. They might have had cold feet. A lot of people are saying
buyer's remorse.
Mm-hmm. Like the Ravens intentionally did it. A lot of people around the league were not too thrilled about it.
What would the reason be for, like, doing it knowing they would back out? Because I mean,
if you were feeling mischievous, it would be a lot of the teams who would be in the running for him that are competitive teams. Like, obviously, if you want Max Crosby, you're kind of in that win now mindset. If you're giving up draft capital, is that other teams are going to make signings for other people, and they're going to get those contracts because they know Crosby's gone. And then once he comes available again, nobody's going to be able to get him. Because, like, I know the Cowboys were looking at him.
The Bears.
All these teams made deals.
Yeah.
It just wasn't in the plan.
I think Pittsburgh is the team I hate the most, but Baltimore is like 1B. And saying that, I don't think they did it intentionally. I think they traded all those picks to get him with the assumption that, yeah, we got him. We're super excited. And then I have a feeling that they probably rushed into that too soon. And they probably saw that Trey Hendrickson was still available. And to be perfectly blunt, they didn't do anything illegal. I mean, they had that window to, nix the deal. But I have a feeling that, and like even when they made that trade, it was so un-Baltimore. Like they never do that. Like that's a trade that the Browns do.
Yeah.
And statistically, the team that trades all the picks to get the player in the long run usually loses the trade. Now it's all crap if Baltimore wins the Super Bowl once while they still have him. If that happens, then they won the trade.
The Stafford trade kind of.
Exactly. But I don't think Baltimore did it intentionally. I think they probably slept on it and were like, shit, and honestly, like I was listening to a podcast and the doctor evaluated his knee when he came into Baltimore for his physical, and he failed the physical. But everything I heard was his knee was still recovering. It wasn't 100%. So any doctor would look at it and be like, yeah, I mean, he's on track to be able to play week 1, but, it's still recovering.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, I mean, he's a super talented player. And if I'm him, maybe you look at what Vegas is doing and they come back to him and say, hey, we know you wanted to be traded. We traded you to a contender. We have the number 1 pick. We have this young, somewhat smart new coach. We spent so much money in free agency. I mean, there's a chance that the Raiders could be at least decent, and then maybe he looks back on it and be like, you know what? I want to stay here. But
yeah, I think they'll be good. I really like Mendoza. Not only do I think he has a lot of the physical tools like size and stuff, but I mean, if you just see an interview with the kid, like there's no doubt in my mind that he's going to be good. He doesn't give a shit about anything besides football and being good. So.
It's just funny that he's going to Vegas.
I know.
Like he'd be perfect on like who's a good team for him? Like Minnesota.
Yeah.
Real kind of like Midwest, but I mean, he's going to Vegas, but hey, I mean, I wish him luck.
That's it's good for them that they have a guy like that, because you're the quarterback of the Raiders, you're a superstar in that city.
Oh, yeah.
You could do whatever you want, basically, and to know they got a good guy in him.
Yeah. All right, so we know Mendoza is, and we're not going to go through all the picks, but at least we'll do maybe top 10, top 15. So,
yeah.
So wait, but what mock draft is this?
Right now, I have Jordan Reed's mock draft. He's a ESPN guy.
Okay.
That's what I have pulled up here first. I mean, no matter where you look, Mendoza is going to be a no-brainer at 1.
2 is who?
This guy has Arvell Reese. Starting off right when the college season ended.
To the Jets.
He was kind of the shoo-in with the Jets at number 2. But after the combine, the Sonny Styles kid from Ohio State, their other linebacker.
Oh, he's just rising in mocks.
Yeah, he killed it. So I've seen them kind of both flip-flopped for their number 2. And also after the combine, the David Bailey edge from Texas Tech. Seems like he's jumped Ruben Bain Jr., the Miami guy.
You know, I want all these defensive freaks to just fly off the board.
Yeah.
Because I want my pick at the best offensive lineman.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. So 3 is Tennessee.
3 is Arizona.
Arizona.
They're projected to take David Bailey, Texas Tech kid.
Arizona sucks.
Yeah. I think they have it the worst in the league. The Titans taking the Miami edge, Ruben Bain Jr. And then
Tennessee has the potential to, I think, they could win that division.
Yeah. I mean, I do like Cam Ward. I mean, their line was just so bad. Calvin Ridley I got him in fantasy. He had a terrible year. I mean, they do have talent, and they got Robert Saleh, who I think he's a good coach.
And they got Brian Daboll as OC.
Mm-hmm.
And say what you will about him as a head coach, as an OC.
Yeah.
He's money.
He knows his stuff for sure. And then the Giants pick 5.
You know what? I have a theory that they're going to get that kid from Notre Dame.
Love. Yeah, maybe. I mean, I do like Scatterbo. If I was them, I would try to roll with that kid.
Yeah, but think of that 1-2 punch.
That'd be nice.
I mean, I think their defense is good. New coach, Jackson Dart, year 2. Neighbors coming back. And I think a lot of people are ranking Jeremiah Love as, at least on some big boards, as like the most talented player.
Yeah.
In this draft.
Mm-hmm. I think it's for sure just him and Mendoza, 1A, 1B.
All right, and then we get to Browns.
Most of the mock drafts I've seen, including this one, have us drafting Monroe Freeling, the tackle out of Georgia.
I love that pick.
Yeah, he's 6'7", 315. And I know before the season started, Francis, not sure how to pronounce this, Mawoga.
He's from Miami, right?
Yeah, he was kind of the number 1 tackle coming off the board here when the season started.
And he was a right tackle, though, right?
I believe so.
And Monroe is left tackle.
He's a left tackle.
Yeah.
But I mean, the guy.
Plus, he's got some Monken connections, because I think Monken recruited him when he was at Georgia.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
so you kind of like connect the dots, you know, like and like you look at picks 1 through 5, right? Vegas, they're not taking offensive linemen. Jets, no. Tennessee, no. Arizona, maybe. Giants, probably not. So, I mean, if you're there at 6, if they get Monroe Freeling, I would be totally fine.
Yeah, I'm fine with the pick. The line, I think, is more important to have performing at a high level than the wide receiver room. Like all of the good Browns teams in the past, kind of when we had that good stretch with Baker, we had a top 3 line consistently. And we had that run game with Chubb, opened everything up. I mean, the best seasons we've had since I've been watching. We've had a good O-line, and I'm fine with the pick at 6, trying to get back to that. You know, if they were looking to go the wide receiver route, you know,
who is your best one?
I like Tyson
from Arizona State.
An Ohio State guy. You know, I do love Tate, but I like Tyson more. Him at 6, though, I feel like
that's a stretch.
Even if he traded back, you could still get him.
Yeah,
I don't think Tate, from what I've read, is a stretch at 6, but just my personal opinion, I did like Tyson more.
Do you think if Tate was at, like, who's an example? Like, if Carnell Tate played for like Clemson, right? Last year. Clemson was average, right? Would he be, if they draft him at 6, you'd be a little like, oh, wow. I think the fact that we're Buckeyes fans, the Buckeyes were the top team, like everyone heard Carnell Tate. I think what you do, at least, and again, I don't know how GMs think, but if I were a GM, I would look at, okay, but between offensive line and wide receiver, which one has the most depth in this draft? And I think if you can get the top tackle at number 6, knowing that, hey, we feel really good at 24 with like these 4 guys, and we feel pretty confident that he's going to be there, like that's the game that you have to play.
Yeah, definitely. I think, you just have to take, if you're not trading back, or even if you want to trade back just a couple of slots, I wouldn't go too far back. I think, you should get your top guy at either tackle or wide receiver.
Who's at 7?
Caleb Downs for the Commanders.
Okay.
Which, for the win now mindset, it's probably not the best pick, but
he's another Jeremiah Love team. Can you imagine him and Jaden?
It'd be sweet.
That'd be pretty sick.
Yeah, Jeremiah Love on this mock draft's coming off the board at 8 for the Saints, which I think makes sense for them. I like their quarterback.
I think too what teams are going to be doing who want a running back, and everything I've read and heard is that the running back class in this league is not great, or at least in this draft class. There's a pretty big cliff after Jeremiah Love. I think teams that really want to draft him are going to look at what Vegas did last year with Ashton Genty, where super talented kid, but if you don't have that offensive line, you're screwed.
Yeah.
And if Judkins didn't break his leg, Judkins would have been the rookie rushing leader last year. So I think teams like, let's say, if the Cardinals really love Jeremiah Love, they'd be stupid to take him at 3 if their offensive line sucks. Where if you have a team like the Giants, who I think have a somewhat decent line, they'd be like, no, like, we feel good about this. Our defense is good. We have our quarterback. We have a wide receiver 1. I just think teams have to look at, and Genty went to the Raiders line last year, I think, was like the worst.
They were right with us, for worst line in the league.
So I think that's definitely a factor that these, at least a smart GM, would do. So who's after Washington?
Hey, let's stop here. We got to pay some bills. 30 seconds, and we'll be back. Getting your house ready to sell, or you just need some basic repairs, and you can't get anybody to come out or even return your phone call. Then call Riley Painting and Contracting, your home mechanics, for all of your home repair needs, from electrical, plumbing, roof repairs, and getting your house ready to sell. 45 years in the business, a AAA on the Better Business Bureau, and we're on the preferred contractor list in Cleveland Heights and Shaker Heights. You can contact us by calling 216-371-8160 and leave a message. And guess what? We'll call you back.
So it's Washington, the Saints. And
Saints could be sneaky good next year.
Yeah. But if they get Love too,
That's another team.
And then the Chiefs, which I've heard.
That's crazy that the Chiefs are picking.
9.
Or 9?
Yeah, they're 9. And a lot of people are saying
that's who we would trade with.
So they're a big candidate to move up and potentially to that 3, 4, 5 spot. Because they do need defense pretty bad.
Didn't they make a trade last week where they got another number one? Was that from the Rams? When they traded McDuffie to the Rams?
Check right now.
Because they're probably building up like ammunition.
Yeah, they got a 29th pick from the Rams as well.
So they've got 9 and 29.
Mm-hmm. And if they want like Reuben Bain Jr., the guy from Texas Tech, Reese, Styles, you're not going to get those guys at 9, I don't think.
Yeah.
So I could see them moving up, and a wide receiver also wouldn't be a bad option for them. This mock draft has Tate fallen to 9.
I wonder what the cost is for them to go from 9 to 6. Do you think it's 29?
Yeah, I think so. Or
is it their number 2?
maybe a second pick. I just feel like a second round wouldn't move me. Like if I was a GM with like the 5th pick, like the Giants, I could see them trading back to that 9 slot. I don't know if a second round pick is really going to do it for me.
Would be a high number 2 pick, right? It would be their number 2 pick.
I mean, yeah, if they're picking 9th, their next pick is here. Yeah, they have their next pick would be the 40th pick.
So keep in mind, I think Andrew Berry does a good job in those like round 2 picks. I mean, look at last year, Schlesinger and Judkins. But I think if you can go into this, like if they said, guys, Cleveland's traded with Kansas City, Kansas City gets number 6. Cleveland now has 9, 24, and 29. I would do that in a heartbeat.
So would I.
And think about it. You could come out of that first round, offensive line, check, wide receiver, check.
Yeah.
And you still have that high number 2 pick. So I think it all comes, and like, I think like we're good now on like going through all these other teams. I think it's totally realistic that we're going to trade. I would be shocked if we kept where we're picking right now.
I think you have to get your guy. And if the Browns aren't taking that tackle, I think he'd be available at 9. So if you really like Freeling and you think he's going to be your tackle for the future and anchor that line, trade back, build assets.
Yeah.
But if Carnell Tate is your guy, and I don't know if he's going to be available at that 6th slot, maybe look at trading back at the 24.
Mm-hmm. And sorry, after us at 6, it's Washington.
It's Washington, New Orleans, Kansas City.
And that's it.
And then, and then Bengals at 10, they'll go defense. Dolphins are projected at 11 to get the Miami tackle.
Did you see what the Dolphins did?
What?
This morning?
No.
Traded Jalen Waddle to the Broncos.
For draft?
For a 1st round pick. Miami is tanking.
It's time. Yeah, quarterback's gone. No, I think Tyreek Hill's a free agent. He's not re-signing there.
No.
Waddle's gone.
You know what? He should just go back to Kansas City. You know?
Yeah.
But would Kansas City take him?
For the right price.
I think another thing, and I know I called this last week, I think Kyler Murray to the Vikings. I think Kyler Murray is going to be really good next year. And that's the other thing too. Where's JJ going?
Yeah. I mean, they might. I'm not a McCarthy guy at all.
No, I mean, he's not good.
I don't know.
Plus, he played for fucking Michigan, so
he's still under contract, right?
Yeah,
I would assume
this is year 3.
I mean, maybe they'll keep him as a backup. I don't think there's going to be a huge market for him. If I was them, maybe have him as like a safety net. But I think that's the one team in the league where you could say that they're a quarterback away.
Minnesota? I mean, oh, yeah.
You have Jefferson, Addison.
Good defense.
Defense is incredible. Like, I mean, they had Darnold. They were killing it. They had like 3 losses last year. So I think that was a perfect signing for them. And then just jumping up to 24 here.
Yeah. It's got to be wide receiver.
Yeah, it's the Omar Cooper, wide receiver, Indiana. Mendoza's main guy.
What about that kid? What's his name from USC? Lemon?
I've seen some mock drafts having us take him.
Did you see his combine interview?
No.
You should look it up.
What did he say?
It's something.
What is he, cocky or something?
He's doing stuff with his eyes where people were like, what the fuck? So I either think it's like, you know, that's a perfect example where like, if you want to draft a kid like that, whose vibe was just really kind of out there, you got to talk to like his teammates, his coaches, and be like, hey, is he serious? You know, and if they say, you know, the kid's the hardest worker, then sure. But he was super talented.
I mean, he is the most productive receiver in college. I mean, he won the award over Jeremiah Smith for like receiver of the year. So the production's there. I just think he's a smaller guy and he doesn't have like this blazing speed.
You know what? This might sound crazy. I don't give a shit about blazing speed.
I think it's a little.
Look at Puka. Look at Amon St. Brown. I mean, the top wide receivers it's like, I don't know what their 40 is. Can they catch the ball in clutch moments? Are they tough? Can they block? Are they good teammates? That's, you know, it's like when it came out, oh, Carnell Tate ran a 4.5. It's like, it's still fast. Like, you know, I think so much is put into like, you know, the 40 time, the vertical, the bench. It's like, yeah, I think like some of that, unless they totally bomb it, then yeah, that's one thing. But if you're like a 4.5, 4.6, 4.4, it's like, it's fast, man. And there's such a difference between game speed.
Yeah.
And
for sure.
When you're, I forget which podcast I was listening to, but the whole like 40 time, filming it, the vertical, the broad jump, all the drills, it's all just a show. The most important stuff is when these teams get these players in those rooms and like
break down film.
Yeah, that's what the combine's about.
Yeah.
That's when I remember when John Dorsey, when they interviewed Baker at the combine. Do you remember what his first question was? John Dorsey, first thing out of his mouth was something like, I hear you like food trucks. Because he got arrested and he fled from a food truck. And Baker was like, it just totally stunned me. So you kind of like, you know, but I think, you know, he gave a good response. Yeah. But it's, you know, all the important stuff is what's said behind closed doors. That's why it was cool during Hard Knocks when the Giants did it, when they had Jaden on the whiteboard at the combine, and they had Drake May and they had Caleb, and
yeah,
I think Jaden gave this like just awesome answer when Dayball was like, okay, like write me up, you know, play blah blah blah. What are you gonna do with player X? And he's like, I'm gonna throw a touchdown. And Dayball was like, fuck, this is my guy.
Yeah.
But there's no way I can get him, you know? But like, that's the stuff that the combine's about. So, you know, if this kid from USC, Lemon, kind of has a weird vibe, but if he goes into the meeting room with Monken and Barry and the wide receiver coach, and he's like, if he's the guy, then who gives a shit what, you know?
Yeah.
If his 40 time was like 0.1 of a second slower than, you know, someone else.
Mm-hmm. And then a question I'll ask you here is, if you have one of these guys like Arvell Reese, Sonny Styles
sitting there
and they fall a bit, would you consider taking them with that sixth pick? And I know that's not going to be, like, we need offensive help. But if that is truly the best player, and then for the next 5 years, you have one of those guys paired with Carson, and you could potentially have 2 top 5 linebackers, as opposed to, let's say we get Freeling and he's some slightly above average offensive tackle. Like, it's not, I would be fine with it, honestly. I feel like that would be an unpopular opinion, but
I think given what I've seen, like, okay, last year's draft, when that trade happened, I was so surprised.
same.
So I think everything is on the table when it comes to Andrew Berry. I think that's why he was so proactive about fixing this offensive line. He wanted to go into the draft being like, I got a big problem that was on our list, and it's like 80% solved. So if they meet Sonny Styles and they're like, shit, this is the next Ray Lewis, then yeah, I think you take him. So all I'll say is, like, nothing would surprise me. Nothing would surprise me too if they were at 26, right? Or 24?
24.
Nothing would surprise me, like, if they traded up from 24 and they got, like, Ty Simpson. Like, that wouldn't shock me.
Yeah, you never know with Andrew.
I think the one thing that would maybe surprise me if they got, like, a David Bailey, like, an edge. It's like, is he, but it's like, linebacker is a question mark. So, like, yeah, if they got Arvell Reese or Sonny Styles and they're sitting there and they got him, would I hate it? No. Would I prefer someone on the offensive side? Yeah, because our offense sucks.
Mm-hmm.
So,
one thing to keep in mind is
someone always falls, though.
Yeah.
Someone is always falling.
And one thing I think as well is, if the Browns are terrible this year, I don't think it matters if they hit on the draft picks or not. Like, Barry's probably going to get fired.
Yeah, probably.
So if you're going to get the best player available and you get Arvell Reese, let's say he falls, and your defense becomes that much better and he's still really good, but your line still sucks and you can't run and you can't throw, like, it's probably in this regime's best interest to maybe just get that offensive tackle, just so maybe you squeak out 7-8 wins and you keep your job next.
I think too, like, there's something about, because there's this whole, like, mantra for everyone outside of Cleveland that, Cleveland thinks they're the smartest people in the room. It's like, if you like the tackle, take the tackle. If he's sitting there and he's really good, you take him. I mean, Monken came from Baltimore. Their left tackle was amazing. So, like, he'll probably be like, no, I need a left tackle. Mm-hmm. We have a great running back. We need to see what Shadur can do.
Yeah.
Take the tackle. So, yeah, maybe I'm walking back. It's like, do you take best player available or do you take the best player available of need?
Yeah, I mean, I think this year's a little different. Last year, they took the best player, I think they thought was available with Mason Graham.
And he was really good.
Yeah. And he was like a lock to be good.
Yeah.
This year, though, I don't know if you could do that because
there's no clear cut.
You brought up a good point, too, where, like, you have to figure out what to do with the quarterback. And if you don't get I don't think if you get a good receiver in this draft, like, most of the guys are gone in free agency. If you don't do that and your line is still bad, you're not going to know if you have a good quarterback in Sanders or if Monken could revive Watson. I don't want that to happen, but, it's certainly on the table. Like, you're still going to have all these question marks coming into next year's draft.
Yeah.
Like, this, going with that tackle, I think you for sure know at least do we have a quarterback? Like, what are we doing here? Do we sign somebody?
Yeah. Well, especially too, like I know every year they say, oh, next year's quarterback class that's the one.
You never know.
You never know, but like you look at some of the names out there who are coming out next year and it's like, holy shit, like it's a pretty deep class. So I think it's like a lot of times we overthink this to have a podcast, but I think sometimes it's like, it's the most obvious thing. Mm-hmm. And I think Monken was hired not only because he vibed well with, Andrew and Jimmy, but he probably told them like, yeah, I think I can, like, I really like Shedeur. I wanted to take him. He didn't want to come here. And the reason he didn't want to come here was because he was like, hey, I want to start. I don't want to sit behind.
Which is
like
one valid reason.
It's a fair thing. So like they probably like, okay, great. Here's a coach who's an offensive coach. He likes the guy who we have. If he says, get this tackle, you take the tackle. So.
Yeah, I agree as well.
So we got what, like a month away?
Yeah, pretty much. I'm sure new names will pop up. I know the Browns like to throw smoke screens out there.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm sure we'll hear it all. But, just taking a look at everything, if I had my dream pick, I'm either taking the Georgia or the Miami tackle.
Same.
Whoever they think's the best. And if there's a wide receiver that you think is going to be just a stud there, I'm even fine with trading up to get him a bit.
Me too.
But I just think you got to make sure you have your tackle, and whoever your wide receiver is, just make sure you get your guy, whether it's Lemon, Tyson. Tate might be a little hard, but
he'll be gone by the teens.
Yeah.
But you never know, like people always fall. And that's where teams like Philly or Kansas City or Baltimore, that's when they're like, all right, we're moving up. Mm-hmm. Why is he falling? So yeah, well, hey, it's coming up soon, and we'll have another one in the next couple of weeks, just talking about new mocks and if there's any new news. But all right, sounds good. Thanks, Matt.
Right. Yep.
Thank you for listening to the Cleveland Browns Anonymous podcast with Mike Riley. We have a lot more content on the way as we get this new podcast started. You can also check out some of our other podcasts, like the Cleveland Real Estate Investor Podcast, and other new ones that will start soon. On any platform that you find yourself listening to us on, feel free to leave us a like or comment or follow us. It always helps.